Hello everyone. So I've decided to come on today to sort of explain a little bit about being a wheelchair user. If I want to go anywhere for a special trip out or go away for maybe a weekend or anything, you have to kind of plan on where you're going, where you're going to stay, check if it's accessible. I actually think our government needs to do more to make everywhere accessible. You'd be surprised the amount of venues that I go to, and this happened last year actually on my birthday. My mum had arranged to take me out for my 60th for a lovely afternoon tea. My daughter had phoned and booked it. She'd checked that the venue was actually wheelchair accessible. What they didn't tell her, which is a big fail on their part, is they didn't have accessible toilets. So the toilets were up a few steps, and it wasn't a wide toilet for a wheelchair either. So even if I could have got up the steps, I couldn't have got in there in my wheelchair. But they didn't tell her that when she booked. So because I needed to go to the toilet rather urgently, I had to leave. So I didn't get to eat all my afternoon tea. I made a complaint to the venue. Luckily, they did refund my mum. But wheelchair accessible means that you can get in the venue, that you can use a disabled toilet. It doesn't mean, yeah, you can get in this because there's no step. I have to plan for hotels. I need a what they call a wheel-in shower, so a wet room basically. I can't get over a step to get into a shower. I've been on holiday and booked it through a travel company that was supposed to be just for disabled people to book these holidays. And one of the hotels had a step to get in the shower that was quite deep. So I couldn't have a shower in that hotel. I refused to stay. They weren't actually wide doorways either. That wasn't so much of a problem because I can, if I'm careful, get through. But it's not acceptable. That was in Spain. In the UK, I found Premier Inn are absolutely brilliant. I use Premier Inn a lot if I go anywhere, but especially if I go to Leeds to the hand transplant clinic. I use Premier Inn for that. If I've been to France with my daughter, we stayed in Premier Inn down in Dover before we got the ferry. So, love them. But really, being in a wheelchair can be quite challenging. You know, kind of getting out somewhere and then having to look, where can I get up the curb to get on the path? Sometimes I can't, I have to go in the road. It's not safe. So being an amputee that doesn't have prosthetics, especially prosthetic legs, and I can't walk anywhere, it can be quite challenging at times. Us wheelchair users need more accessibility. We need more inclusion. I feel very excluded at times that I can't do things because I'm in a wheelchair. And that's not really fair, is it? Everybody should be included, even wheelchair users. And that brings me on to the fact that people tend to ignore me because I'm in a wheelchair, and they talk to the person that's with me. I had it recently when I went in hospital. I went to have a suprapubic catheter fitted, which is a catheter that goes in through my stomach, directly into my bladder. And the nurse was talking to my carer that was with me instead of talking to me. And I went, "Excuse me, I'm here. I have a brain. You know, I can talk. Why are you not talking to me? Why are you asking my carer?" I got quite annoyed. I'm a person. And you know what? So many wheelchair users get this. So many wheelchair users. Excuse my dog, he's in the garden. He's obviously seen a bird. He does that. But so many wheelchair users find the same thing, that because you're in a wheelchair, they ignore you as though you haven't got a brain. Just because you're in a wheelchair, you're still a human being. You can still talk. But even if they've got cerebral palsy or something like that, that they can't perhaps talk, they might be able to understand you. A lot of them can. A lot of people can understand even if they can't talk. So talk to them. Say hello. It means a lot. So now my sepsis bit. Remember the sepsis signs and symptoms. Cold feet and hands. Extremely breathlessness. Feeling like you're going to die. Confusion. Mottled skin. Shivering. Or muscle pain. You might get one. You might get none. But I think you will get the one where you feel like you're going to die. You will feel extremely unwell. So please, please, look out for the signs. Keep safe. Keep your loved ones safe. Take care, guys. See you soon.